Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In this session, we are working on measure of central tendency, a concept we have already talked about in class. But very quickly, measure of central tendency is a statistical concept that is measuring the central value of the population or a group or data sets you have at hand. In our case, the measure of central tendency, we have generally three types of measure of central tendency: mean, median, and mode. And they are called measure of central tendency because these measurement is returning or giving you the central value of the data sets you have. And they are called tendency because we are interested to know how these different data set points cluster together around the central value, or how they tend to group together around the central value. So very simply, dear students, measure of central tendency is talking about the central value or typical value. We can also call it typical because typical value is a value that is representing the whole data set. So here, mean, median, and mode, these are typical values because representing how much is the typical sale in in your business for a month, for example, right? Okay, very simply, the first one is mean. And the formula for mean we have is x bar equal to summation s summation x over n. And by summation x, we mean x plus x, x2, x3, up to xn over n. But here in Excel, we have a built-in, straightforward, very much simple and efficient function, and that is average function. And average is you should take all the data set, right? And just press enter. This will return an average value for you. And this is the same value computed by this formula. And if you just try to use this function or this formula using Excel, this is not an appropriate way because it is time consuming. For example, you just add 15 plus 18 plus 23 in this way, right? All the value, you add all the values, right? For example, and then you divide it by the number of the population, which is 10 in our case. Okay, this is giving the same answer, which is not efficient and time consuming, dear students. So why not to use the built-in efficient and straightforward average function here, just to compute the same result this formula is giving to you. Okay, the second we have is median. The median is the middlemost number in your data set. In very simple words, the middle number in your data set. Okay, we don't have a series, just click insert and add serial number here. We have 1 2 3 and take the drag, okay, drag it down in this way, make it center. Okay, this is serial number. Okay, we have 10 individual. Now you are interested to know what is median value. The median is the middle number in your data set, but keep in mind, for this purpose you have to sort the data. You have to make it in ascending order or in descending order. Now how to do that? Just select the table, right, and click on sort and filter and click on custom sort, and here take the monthly sale and take smallest to largest or largest to smallest, whatever sort you just interested about. Okay, once the data is sorted, okay, now the lower value is in beginning and gradually the value increases. Once the data is in order, right, then you can find out the middlemost number. But keep in mind, a point here is that we have 10 values or we have even values. When you have even values, it means there are two values in the center. But when you have odd values, for example, I'm deleting here, now you have 9 values, then the middlemost number is 5th. 25th is your median, very simply. But when you have even values, right, then the two values in the middle, you have to take the average of. You have to compute the average value of the two middle values, and that will give you the median. So we have a function in Excel, simply equal sign and type median, right, and take all the data in the range, and this will give you the median value. So in our situation, the middlemost number, which is for even, the 5th and 6th is the middlemost number, but the average of them is also 25. Okay, the third is mode. Mode is the most frequent number in your data set, the number that appears a lot, right, repeatedly. So we have two numbers that repeats a lot. One is 25, another is 26. Keep in mind, dear students, if you have only one single number repeats a lot in your data set, such as 25, then we call it unimodal. But if you have two numbers, like we have 25, 26, we call it biomodal class or biomodal data sets you have. But if there are many modes you have, then we call it multimodal class or multimodal data sets you have. So what is the function here? The built-in function in Excel is equal sign and type mode, and you can take mode single and just take the data, and this will return a value that repeats or appears a lot in your data sets. Okay, dear students, you have learned how to measure and compute mean, median, and mode in your data set. Okay, these are called measure of central tendency. And why measure of central tendency? Because these values typically somehow represent the whole data sets. You can say somehow that the monthly sales in Camon is 25,000 or 25.7 thousand. So they are called central values, or you can say typical values of the whole data sets representing the whole data set. Okay, dear students, you have learned about unimodal, biomodal, and multimodal. But keep in mind, we have a model class. This is a concept, very important. What is a model class? For a model class, we need to put all these data in histogram, or you have to create different classes with interval, and then within each class, you have to make sure that which value appears a lot in each class. So a class in which a value and frequency is higher, then we call it a model class. And have to do that simply. Okay, select this monthly sale column, right? When you select it, then come into insert. Within insert, we have histogram. This is histogram, right? Now in this histogram, we have three groups, right? Starting from 15 to 27, all the data that is organized into three groups, right? One group start from 15 to 27, another start from 27 to 39, and the third group is starting from 39 into 51. But these intervals are few. I just need more. So just call it monthly. Okay, this is histogram monthly sales. Okay, if you just try to increase the numbers of the classes, so click on the data you have in right click and then click on the format axis, and here bin width should be, I think, if it is 5 and number of bin is 5 would be better. Okay, yeah, now it's okay. Look, now we have 5 bin 1, second, third, fourth, fifth, and there are 5 classes, and then you can say the width of the bin is 5 from 15 to 20 and from 20 to 25, and this is boundary class and statistic, if you remember, because there is no gap in between the classes. Okay, now just add the label. How to add the label? Just click on right click on this and click on add data label, and then you see here that in the first group there are two frequencies. You can say two frequencies, two values, are two salespersons. Their sale is in 15 and 20, and there are four salesperson. Their sales is between 20 and 25, and there are two salesperson. Their sale is between 25 to 30, and there are two salesperson. They have two separate groups. So this is called histogram, dear students. In each interval, you see how many participants or how many observations lies. Okay, now which one is the model class? The model class is a class with more frequencies. So you can say four individual, they have values or they have monthly sale between 20 to 25. And you can indeed see 25, 25, 25, 26. These are four individuals. They are in this range, I think, from 23 into 25, these four. So This class is called a model class. Why model? Because it has more frequencies, a class with most frequencies. Okay, we assume this class has mode. Why? Because it's more probable that a class with more frequency may have mode. So that is why a class with more frequency is called model class. Dear students, you have learned how to measure the mean, median, and mode, and what is the concept, what is unimodal, bimodal, multimodal, and model class. You have learned how to use histogram and find out different intervals and models. Okay, we have one another fast way of finding out descriptive statistic. Keep in mind, these measure of central tendency, three typical measurements, they are part of descriptive statistic. And now we are not studying all, just we are focusing these three. So there is a function you can find out all descriptive statistic in one go. And how to do that? Okay, just in data, you must have data analysis, and if you don't have it, you have to install it from tools. So click on data analysis. In nav we are interested about descriptive statistic, so click on OK. In nav, what is the input range for a data? You just try to find out its descriptive statistics. This is the input range. I'm finding out its descriptive statistic. Now what's the output range? This is the, okay, there is a label, because label is monthly sale, and the output range is, this is the output range. Okay, and click on OK. At least there should be one statistic. I just need summary statistic. Clear? Okay, look, we have more statistic here, but now you should know we have mode, we have median, and we have mean. You can also see them answer. You can also see them here. Okay, hopefully it's clear. Okay, two more things I'm just explaining here. The remaining, inshallah, I'll explain in another session. One is minimum and maximum value. If you just try to find out what is the minimum and maximum value in your data set, okay, for minimum equal sign, and just type min and take all the data in the range, and this will give you the minimum value, or you can say this is the minimum sale in your business. And for maximum, just type max, and also in function type max and take all the data in the range, and this will give you the maximum value. So the maximum sale we have is 40 and the minimum is 15. Dear students, these are descriptive statistics. So in today's class, you have learned mean, median, mode, minimum, and maximum. Inshallah, next session we will talk about standard errors, standard deviations, variance, kurtosis, and skewness. Inshallah, also range. Hopefully, this was clear. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, one point. If you just try to know how to do all these in Stata, okay, I'm just letting you know how to do it in Stata. In Stata, just okay, I have this Stata file. I'm just clearing this file and opening my file. The file I'm interested in is, and that is in quantitative method and techniques. Okay, I just try to import file. Okay, and just import, and from Excel spreadsheet I'm importing the file, and the file here is central tendency. This file I needed. Okay, simply, and then click on import first row as variable name, and then click on OK. Okay, now the file is here. Now just simply you can type summarize, and the variable name you just try to summarize. Click on the variable name and then click. Here also you can say the maximum, the minimum value, the standard deviation, the mean value, also the observation value. Some have the format and structure is different. Also we can use tabulate. You can type tabulate, and this monthly sale should be tabulated. Now look, you can find out the frequencies here, the classes. So we have 15 with one frequency, 18 with one frequency, and 25 we have with three. From here you know that which one is the mode. So 25 is mode and 26 is on mode. So this is a biomodal class, biomodal data set. Why? Because we have two modes. 25 appears the most, 26 appears 2 times. Okay, so also from these statistics, one is the summarize and tabulate. You can find out the statistic. Okay, if you just try to know about the median in statistic, you can use tabulate, right? And the variable of interest is monthly sale. Okay, sorry, again, this is tabulate monthly sale and comma type detail. Now, monthly sale, click on tabulate and just try to find out detail. Okay, why? Okay, sorry, do not use tabulate, use summarize. Okay, summarize and monthly sale and then detail, and this will give you also some information. Okay, summarize monthly sale comma detail. So the 50% value, which is 25, this is the median. Okay, why? Because median is the middlemost number. In our situation, the middlemost number is 50%, that is 25. Okay, dear students, for most of the information you can use Excel, or also for descriptive statistic, mean, mode, median, standard deviation, you can also use Stata. Hopefully, you have learned how to use Excel and Stata for finding out mean, median, and mode. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.